Hold the pencil so that you can use most of the lead to make the shading. So it's just coaxing the pencil from the dark area to the light area and blending it very gently away. Leave, if you've got a line in the middle, just leave the line in the middle. Follow the lie of the leaf, just keeping that pencil horizontal, and stroke it through until you end up just coming back from the point. Now that's a bit awkward to hold, so what you need to do at times is to move the paper around so that you can very easily make the strokes and carry on like that, just increasing the tones, gradually building them up, keeping the lie of the leaf. And this area is the high part, and that's going to stay lightest. So this is much lower than the other end, so this is going to go darker. And actually I can move my wrist round there quite happily, so I don't need to move the paper there. And this is still just using the side of the 4B pencil to coax that shading through, and I'm concentrating on looking at the tooth of the paper coming through from the pencil marks and just making no lines. It is pure tone, no lines. So I'll carry on working on that. So you can see here that I've got a long way to go before I get to the darkest part of the leaf here and here. So what I've got to do is start to get more tone into there. So far all I've done is use the pencil flat ways on, so that I'm just getting a nice soft effect. My hand's getting a bit sticky on the side, so I'm just going to rest it onto a piece of paper to stop the grease coming onto this cartridge paper. Now I've changed the hold on the pencil, and because I've changed the hold, it gives me a little bit more accuracy to what I do with my lines. I've also sharpened the pencil so that it gives me precision, and you can see now how this is allowing me to go darker, still keeping the light on the top, but building up this dark really nicely. And I can also I'm just using this centre vein. I mean, there'd probably be more veins, but I'm just using the centre vein as a simple sort of reference point for the curve of the leaf, so that you can keep in touch with the geography, so to speak. And that's building up really nicely now, and I'm just going to increase the pressure. I've hardly got any pressure on this at all because 4B is quite a soft pencil, but if I increase the pressure now, look what happens. And I'm turning from a stroke to a flick, and the flick is perfect for doing these little accurate darks. So against the veins, very, very useful, but mostly because we might not put the veins in on the edges. So if I put that little flick on the edge there, look how that gives me wonderful contrast, and I'm nearly working up to the dark here, and I'm really going to press now, but flick. Not making a line, just making that flick, and it gives it, with a flick, it just gives it a more natural feel, because it goes dark to light in the flick. And I can put a little bit of a sort of a mound at this bottom end here. Bit of extra dark perhaps on there. Maybe I could put a little dark. And pressing on really hard there, and a flick away from the dark. And you see how that works. Now I'm doing a flick here. If I need to do a flick where it's quite critical and it has to be accurate, what you do is you start with the pencil on the page and flick. Turn the paper around so that you can make the flick easy with your hand. So flick. This is a really tight little area. So on the whole, you want to have the pencil down and then a flick. But then I revert to the normal little stroking affair. And I feel that the pencil's losing its point, so I probably have to go back and sharpen it. But let's just see if we're getting a little bit more in before I have to sharpen it again. And you can see now how we're getting the curve into the leaf. This is what I want you to be thinking about, is getting this lovely movement. This won't be very light because it's going over the top, so it's got this movement going over. I want you to concentrate when you're looking at your plant on getting that really lovely. And this is the thick side. We're looking at the thick side, so actually even here I can just stroke a little bit of extra dark in on that edge there, just to show a little bit of thickness. And because this is in the shade, this won't look quite as light as it does on the top, so I can put a little bit of shade on the top there. And so this is really going along quite nicely, and I just need to do some more to it to get it right. This little touch here is a stray mark, a bit like I've got there and got there. So what I have to do, I've got my rubber, just an ordinary rubber. You can use putty rubber or whatever, but an ordinary rubber. Make sure it's clean by rubbing on a spare piece of paper. And then using a mask, any sort of mask, I think the tissue paper that I've got here will do it. Just pop the mask over there, hold it down and rub out the mark that you don't want. And that way you can be quite accurate with your rubbing out wherever it is that you need to do it. So to do this little bit here, probably take 2 goes to do that. I don't know, let's see. Hold it down, 2 fingers, and just quite a chunky rubber, and it allows you to be fairly accurate with your rubbing out. Don't smudge the whole thing, because then it will really, make a smudging. Take that putty rubber that is warm in your hand already, and with the tiniest, I'm pinching my putty rubber onto a clean bit, onto the point, and just into a little wedge shape. And where the mistake is, you literally touch it until it clicks, and with the putty rubber it will come out. I'm just going to make a little flower here, again back holding the pencil on the side. I've made a few little surveying marks, location marks, just to give me, and a centre point, just to give me the basic shape and distribution of petals. This is part of the Sweet William, and again flatness of the pencil. And this time we can just use the contours to pull out, working the pencil round like this, because sometimes you get these marks visible, and move the paper so that it's easy on the hand. Not so warm today, so I didn't need to have a mask for the hand. And there we've got sort of the basic kind of directions located, and we can start to just tidy that up. A little bit more stroking coming out of that centre, and this is giving us the nice sense of the dip on the petals. So as we move round, we just keep that dip going, keep it going, and keep moving round, going out from the centre, pencil down on the circle. And as I'm getting in here now, I'm starting to press that little bit heavier just to make a slightly stronger tone. I'll carry on doing that now. So I've put some more shading on to get the slightly darker side, lights coming this way, slightly darker side, slightly lighter side, and it's still pretty ragged around the edge. So this is where we change the hold on the pencil, and we just start to draw the shapes using the point and the flick. And this is where we can get the flick working for us again. So you're bringing those lovely dark, contrasting, sharp edges in by flicking away. And on the edge particularly where this is just broken, and there we can make that, blend it away a little bit. We don't want it too much of an outline, just blend that away a little bit. Make this extra bit dark here. We don't want this white on the inside, so we just put a little extra shading in the middle. And this is now getting to have a really nice range of tones, and also getting to be defined quite nicely. The Sweet William, it does have a light area here, so again, using the flick, we just put this extra contrast in here. So I've got a good point, and just put that little extra shade in there to make the change of tone on the petals stand out. And we carry on, and we just carry on working it through until it's done. Again, we can have a petal here that's overlapping, so if I just put that extra bit of dark in there and blend it away, don't leave it as an outline. If you want to do this properly, it just needs to be blended away. Make the line and then point and flick.